Welcome to Wondrous Wednesday. It's Shirley Rufener here again with PolymerClayTV, and I've got another fun project for you today, so let's go. First, let's talk about the supplies we're going to use today. You'll need a craft knife, an acrylic roller, and this one's Sculpey. Technique design blocks. These are really cool. They have very deep texture, and this is like a design comb. I really like that. A ceramic tile I like to use to bake on. You're going to need some glue that's in a tube that's clear, it's all-purpose glue. Primo Sculpey, of course, and I'm going to use black today. A pigment ink pad of any color that you want. We're going to use more than one, but I'm showing you a orchid color. And then down here in the front, I've got some mini metal cutters, and these are by Primo Sculpey, and they're just in the basics shapes kit. So I've got a flower, a heart shape, and a square. This is a texture roller tool. And there's 3 heads here. All 4 of them were in a package that were new. These are like new designs. And then last, a bracelet it's a link bracelet with flat pads that you can glue your clay onto. So here are some of the tools that I explained, and what I want to show you first is just how to texture the clay. Now you can use many different things to texture clay as long as you use a release, and I just like to use a spritzer bottle with plain old water. So I've got a variety here, and what you want to do, of course, first is roll your clay out, and this is an acrylic roller tool, and I've rolled it out to about a 1/8 to maybe 3/16 inch thick sheet, and you can also do that on your clay conditioning machine at the thickest setting. So I'm going to go ahead and just spritz directly on the clay. I like to do both. I like to spritz the clay and spritz the texture. So this is one of the texture blocks. And I'm just going to show you just a variety of textures here. So I'll just press them in just to give you an idea. And you do want a fairly deep texture, so do a nice press on that. And then this is really cool, this little comb. So I'm going to try and show you, see if you can pick that up. But I'm just going to basically drag it through, pressing slightly. You can do that. And see how fun that is? You can also do some squiggly lines just by curving it. And if you wanted to go back over it and maybe get a checkerboard, you could bring it this way. And then a couple more textures. I have a new sheet of clay here, black clay. Spritz it again with water. You want to do that every time you use a different texture. Here's another one of the texture blocks. I'm just going to press that in. Give it a good hard press. Lift it out slowly. And I love this one. It's got these nice, you know, evenly spaced dot lines. So I'm going to press that in. Now, it's kind of hard to see the texture on the clay, but it's really going to pop as we use the pigment ink pad. See how cool that is? I love those little dots. And then these are a lot of fun too. These are the texture wheels, and you have a nice handle. It comes in a set. And these are the new ones, and this is Argyle, and I'm going to show you that. Hopefully the camera's picking this up well. And then it's so easy to change the wheels. You just pull this off and you snap on a new wheel. So let me just show you a couple more of these. We won't show you all of them, but here's another design, and they just have, let's see, 8 total designs now. I really like these new Sculpey tools. They're fun. So these are the new wheels. I like this one. It's my favorite. It's kind of a fancy design on there. So that's that. And actually, let me just flip this over, and maybe we can just get a few more on the back here. Sure, why not? Okay. So of course you wouldn't want the texture on both sides, but okay. So let me just spritz that one more time. And these are the texture sheets. This one is called Landscape. And there's a particular flower. I'm going to use this area because I want to get one of these small flowers, and then we're going to move on to the cutters. And what I like to do is get it in place there, press a little bit, and then take my roller and just go over one time, pressing nice and firm. Ah, I love that. I also want to mention when you go to buy your little bracelet, or actually this comes as a chain, and then you can just cut it to wherever you want for the length. You want to make sure that the shapes that you find are larger than one of those pads, because you don't want those little flat pads to show. And these all are. I've checked the flower and the heart and the square. So let's get on to the clay. So now what I'm going to do, there's a nice little flower shape there, and I'm just going to take the flower cutter, press it over, and I'm going to cut right around that flower. And I'm going to want more than one of those, so I'm going to find another one and press that out. This is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I kind of like the leaf shape for the heart because the lines go kind of in the same shape as the heart. And let's find something that's just ripply and fun for the square. There we go. And of course you're going to, you know, remove the clay, the excess, and you're going to get your shapes. So now I've got my black clay and I have baked it. and you want to make sure that you bake it at the recommended temperature and time length for the package that you're using. And instead of using my solid ink pads that were pigment, these are the same thing, but these are Tricolor ink pads. And you can use these little cotton tip sticks, and they work really well to do small applications. So I decided 3 colors are better than 1, so I'm going to go ahead and just go into the lightest color first. And I basically just use one of these sticks for each color family. Now I'm going to have to put my finger in here and hold this down a little bit. And basically you're just going to tap on the top, and I'm going to do kind of a little bit of an altered or collage look. Go ahead and take and get the excess off of your stick onto a paper towel. Come into the next color, and you can overlap the colors because then you get a, oops, flipped over there. You can overlap the colors so that you get this kind of a nice blend, and each time kind of tap it off and clean it. And then we'll end with the blue. Kind of hard to keep these in place. You could even put some double stick tape down onto your surface to keep that in place. And so see, you've got a nice muted color tint there. It's just enough, and the black really makes it pop. I'm going to go with the green next, and let's do this square. And of course I used all the different textures, so you're going to just really see those pop where you wouldn't if you did not tint these. Try not to get my hand in the way. I'm going to start with a little bit of green, and I'm just kind of tapping it on. If you press too hard, you're going to get it into the crevices, and you want to have the black clay show behind that. And I'll just use 2 colors. I'll go from green to blue on this one. What's nice about these Tricolor pads too is it gives you 3 colors that work very nicely together. So then I'm just going to come in with the blue and finish that up. And you notice that the bolder designs show up even better. So yeah, this really does show up. You can see the black lines really solid in between there. Okay, and then I'm going to switch to my orange family color and do this little polka dot heart. Start with the lightest color, yellow. A little bit of that on the bottom. Come in with just a little bit of pink. Maybe I'll overlap that. So as you can see, this is a lot of fun. The coloring is great, and really this could be a project for any age. So you want to make sure that you've counted how many pads you have on the bracelet. This one is actually a small size, and I'm going to bring in some other clay pieces that I already baked and tinted with the colors. And what's nice is all of these colors are so muted that they're all going to look really nice together. So the only thing left to do is to glue those on. So I have glued all the clay pieces on now, and this is your finished bracelet. You do have one more step. So first of all, I wanted to mention you need to let the inks dry on there. So once they're dry, so you glue them on, and then, you let the inks dry on the pieces, then you glue them on, and wait overnight. Let it sit flat overnight, just like this, so that it's level, because they will slide if not. And then the next day, go ahead and apply, which I've already done, a polymer clay friendly glaze, and they will seal the inks. That will seal the inks, and your bracelet will be finished. If you enjoyed today's project, I also have a book out. It's called Polymer Clay Mixed Media Jewelry by Shirley Rufener, published by Krause. So you can look that up, and until next time, we'll see you. Bye-bye.